Good evening, everyone. I'm Don Shelby.
And I'm Cindy Hilger. As we mentioned a bit earlier, the jury has reached a verdict tonight at about 7:30 in the trial of Robert Guevara. The jury found him not guilty of the kidnapping, rape, and murder charges against him.
A quick reminder now of what led to tonight. A 5-year-old girl, Corinne Erstad, disappeared from her Inver Grove Heights home back in June. Now, Guevara was a family friend. He was arrested a few days later and charged in her disappearance. He has been in jail since just shortly after that. Now, searchers combed the fields, the woods, and the lakes searching for Corinne's body. When they didn't find it, prosecutors went ahead with a case that has only been tried once before. That is, trying a murder case without a body. Now, while the prosecution concentrated on physical evidence linking Guevara to that crime, the defense focused on Corinne's mother, Mona Williams, trying to raise suspicions that somehow she had reason to frame Guevara.
Esme Murphy has been following the trial since the very beginning. She joins us now with a reaction to the verdict, and she is live from the Hastings Courthouse. Esme.
Well, Cindy, just moments ago, the not guilty verdicts were read. There were 8 counts that Robert Guevara was charged with. On all 8 counts, he was found not guilty. A stunning verdict in this case. As all the counts were read and the not guilty verdicts were read one at a time, the Guevara family began weeping and sobbing. Midway through the 8 counts, Mona Williams appeared to collapse in the courtroom. She was comforted by her mother. She was sobbing too. The Guevara family began to sob uncontrollably as they got to the criminal sexual conduct or rape count. At that point, when the not guilty verdict was announced, Anthony Torres leapt up and hugged Robert Guevara. Robert Guevara walked into the courtroom before the verdict was read, tears streaming down his face. Right now, jurors have made their way out of the courtroom, and some of the spectators and the families are making their way out again. This is a stunning verdict. When this case first broke, when the arrest of Robert Guevara was first made, everyone thought this was an open and shut case. And the credit here obviously goes to the flamboyant, sometimes controversial defense attorney Anthony Torres. But again, Robert Guevara has been found not guilty on all 8 counts he was faced with. Don, back to you.
Esme, one question for you. How much do you believe that Judge Lynch's decision not to allow the DNA expert testimony, the specific nature of DNA, into this courtroom, how much did that, you think, lead to the jury's inability to reach a guilty verdict?
Don, I think that was very, very critical. It was almost all important. The judge's ruling that you're referring to barred the statistical accuracy of DNA from being admitted in this case. So while the DNA evidence was the strongest evidence that the prosecution had, it didn't have the overwhelming punch it would have had the statistics been brought in. So a very, very, very important point, Don, that you raised there with that DNA ruling. Another point I might add, if Corinne's body is ever found, if it is found tomorrow, Robert Guevara will never be able to be tried on murder charges. That is because there's double jeopardy in effect here, and he cannot be charged on a crime that he's already been tried for. Certainly, people will look back and wonder if the prosecutors did the right thing in going all the way and going for the murder charge in this case. Another thing, prosecutors have hinted before that if Robert Guevara were to be acquitted, he might eventually end up being prosecuted for federal kidnapping charges. There is no double jeopardy, and that prosecution would hinge on his first statement to police, in which he said the night of the disappearance he went across state lines into Wisconsin. Don?
All right, Esme, thank you very much. We'll get a full recap of this story coming up tonight on our 10 o'clock news. Now, just to recap what you heard, Robert Guevara has been found not guilty on all 8 counts by the Hastings jury, the Dakota County jury, tonight. Just moments ago, the jury returned that verdict to Judge Lynch, and that is our final report on that for the time being.
And we're going to be back with the full newscast right after the game. Now back to CBS.